Hello, I'm Nikki Davis with the Australian Market Report for April 1. Overnight, Wall Street ended the last day of the quarter with a massive rise, despite the uninspiring data released overnight on US consumer confidence and housing. Yesterday, Aussie shares closed slightly lower after the huge fall in the US market. The benchmark S&P ASX 200 index ended the day down 0.6%, or 22.3 points at 3582.1. while the broader All Ordinaries index fell 0.6%, or 29.1 points, at 3532.3. However, the local market has become more immune to Wall Street's negative leads over recent days. At 11:30 a.m. today, the S&P ASX 200 was down 25.8 to 3556.3. On to key economic facts and figures, and the Reserve Bank of Australia said the country's housing prices will hold up better than those overseas, largely due to higher lending standards, absence of the subprime mortgages, and shortage of available homes. Australian housing prices only dipped 3% in 2008, compared with the 20% falls seen in the US and Britain. Today, the Australian Bureau of Statistics is set to release retail sales and building approvals data, both for February. The Australian industry group PricewaterhouseCoopers will also release Australian Performance of Manufacturing Index for March. And the Department of Employment and Workplace Relations will publish its Skilled Job Vacancy Survey. Now for M&A news, Treasurer Wayne Swan has said the government has approved Chinese state-owned steelmaker Hunan Valin Iron and Steel Group's 17.55% shareholding in Fortescue Metals Group. Mr Swan approved the $1.2 billion Australian dollar investment, subject to formal and strict undertakings that a Valin nominee to the board will submit a notice of any potential conflict of interest relating to Fortescue's marketing, sales, customer profiles, price setting and cost structures for price and shipping. Macquarie Communications Infrastructure Group has recommended a $1.37 billion Australian dollar takeover offer of Canada Pension Plan Investment Board. The Canadian pension funds have made a formal cash offer to acquire MCG stapled securities for $2.50 Australian each. Looking at important corporate news, and it has been reported that Rio Tinto and BHP Billiton have agreed to a temporary 40% cut to iron ore prices. Agricultural chemicals company Nufarm Limited is forecasting an operating net profit of about $220 million Australian for the 2009 fiscal year, saying demand in the second half will be strong. Nexus Energy has sold its 15% stake in a West Australian exploration permit to Shell Development for $19 million US. Nexus said the sale would provide it with near-term funding as the company negotiated additional funding requirements packages. The chairman of Ex-Strata Australia, Peter Coates, will replace current chairman Stephen Gerlach at the end of the year. Santos has officially announced the retirement of Mr Gerlach. Telstra's chief executive, Sol Trillo, said yesterday the company will lose up to $2 billion Australian if it does not win the contract to build the national broadband network. And Republic Gold says it is getting closer to pre-construction site works on a rich gold prospect in South America. The company expects the mineral resource estimates for the Amayapampa gold project in Bolivia to increase at the completion of a diamond drilling program and continued work on surface sampling. You've been watching the Australian Market Report for April 1. I'm Nikki Davis for Asia Business News.